on this channel since last summer, I have talked about how you can get to the house of high limits with Navy Fed and some other credit unions, because a lot of people right now are trying to figure out how can they get high limit credit cards. That is one of the main search topics on YouTube right now. But one thing that I do not notice, and that's from my channel and some of the other channels, nobody talks about this silent wealth stealer. But I'm going to talk about it today inside of this video, so y'all make sure y'all come on back. Welcome back to Starr Knows Credit. My name is Starr Carter, and on this channel I talk personal financial education and how it relates to your credit. If this sounds like something that you're interested in viewing, please be a subscriber to my channel. Make sure you guys are cutting on the notification and liking this video. That's where it get pushed out to other viewers that wants to see this content. And I do appreciate you so very much. So let's go ahead and let's get into today's video. So in the intro of this video, as I was telling you, we have discussed so many things that you can do in order to get to high limit credit cards, meaning you can have a relationship with the credit union by starting direct deposit, using their other services, like getting pledge loans and all types of things that you could do to start a relationship with a credit union. And that way you can apply for a credit card or some other type of loan service, and that way you'll get approved for whatever limit that you're trying to get. And in case of a credit card, you're trying to get whatever the highest limit that they would give you. Now, I already told you guys in my previous video that I will no longer be reviewing any more of Navy Fed's actual products, but I will be talking about some of the things that you need to be aware of when it comes to pitfalls of credit. And that's what this video is about. So it doesn't matter where you are in your journey of credit. You could have been like me and been young at 18 and first got your first credit card and had no idea what credit was about. And today I want to talk about the true wealth stealer, okay? And that is high limit credit cards. Those can be the true wealth stealer, because a lot of times when we are using our credit cards, and especially if you get high limits that you're not used to, a lot of credit cards, especially if you have a thin profile or you just building credit, they won't start you off with no more than about $500, even $300, somewhere, and you might get it all the way up to $1,000. But they know the pitfalls of credit, especially with the credit card, because it's so easy to get a credit card with just your stated income. And what I mean by stated income, I'm talking about whatever number you put down, they taking that for your word, and you're not actually providing any W-2s or any pay stubs or any tax returns to prove what your income is. So they're just taking your word for it. So that's stated income. A lot of times, like even with Navy Fed, when you just putting down what your actual income is, whether you're fudging the numbers or it's your actual numbers, they're going to grant you that credit card. If you're credit worthy, where your credit score and all other factors are in play, they're going to give you a limit based on the information that you provided. And some of the times the credit card limits can start off all the way in $20,000 and above. I see, just from me doing client consultations and stuff, that a lot of people are getting in trouble because they really don't know what that looks like when you get a $20,000 credit limit, because they never had that kind of money on a credit card. They used to getting $500 credit cards, $1,000 credit cards, $2,000 limit credit cards. But when you're going from that small of a limit all the way up to $20,000, $30,000 credit cards, the numbers are going to look a whole lot different. And a lot of people wind up getting into credit card debt and not realizing how they got into it, because they're still looking at this $20,000 and $30,000 card limit the same way they looked at that $500 card limit or that $1,000 card limit. They still thinking that if you go out and spend $20,000 and max out the credit card, that your minimum payment would still be $25 or $100 or maybe $200. They're not realizing that the more you have this card maxed out, the higher the minimum payment is going to be. And usually the minimum payment is going to be anywhere between 1 to 5% or whatever that balance is. Usually it's going to be somewhere between 2 and 3% of that balance. That's going to be your minimum payment that you have to make on that card. So if you are already maxed the card out at $20,000, I like to look at the numbers. I'm a numbers girl. If anybody have ever talked to me on a consultation consultation or in my Credit Ready program, y'all know that I am a numbers girl, because I always tell you, people lie, but numbers don't. So we need to check this out, because I don't want you guys to get into a pitfall when it comes to, you know, getting these high limit credit cards that everybody is talking about here on YouTube and other social media platforms. I want you to be well informed over here and really be educated when it comes to that. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at how that can look for you if you were to get in a maxed out situation with $20,000 or even more. So I like to go on the website that's called calculator.net. And on calculator.net, they got all kind of calculators for anything that you got going on for free. So I'm looking at a financial calculator right now that's called a credit card calculator. They also have mortgage, auto loans, amortization, income tax, salary, interest rate, investment calculations, inflations, all kind of different stuff, 401k. So if you're ever in need of a calculator, try calculator.net. So I'm going to look at a credit card balance. So just for, you know, people that have never had a high limit credit card, I just want to be very transparent with you. So just say you got a credit card of $20,000, right? And say you got it from Navy Fed. Now, right now, depending on what your credit worthiness is and what card you get, what your internal score is with them, you could have a rate anywhere between 14 and 18%. So let's just say you're on the high end, which is 18%, because you might not have had a good internal score and your credit score may be somewhere in the 600s or the, you know, maybe 720 or something like that, but not, you know, over 750. Okay, so let's just look at that 18%. Okay, now one thing I do like about when you're trying to calculate with this calculator, if you're trying to figure out how long it's going to take for you to pay off a card, and this is what we're looking at right now. So we're looking at if you had a credit card balance of $20,000 with the 18% interest rate, how much would you have to pay in order to pay this card off, and how long would it take you to pay this card off? Now we're going to just put $200 in, and this calculator right here will let us know whether or not if that's enough money to satisfy to even begin to pay this credit card off. So let's just see if that's going to be enough money. So right there, it already tells us it is unlikely that you can pay off the balance with a monthly payment of $200. You would need to pay an amount higher than $300. Okay, so let's look at let's just do $310. Okay, we're gonna keep it like real minimum. All right, so let's put in 310 and see what it says. All right, so if you were to only pay $310 per month on a maxed out $20,000 credit card with 18% interest, it would take you 19 years and 3 months to pay the balance off. The total interest that you would pay is $51,502. Can you imagine spending $20,000 on something? You know, could have been a whole lot of somethings to add up to be $20,000, and paying $51,000 for it plus the 20. So you've been and paid $71,000 in all. Just let that sink in. When we're talking about high credit card limits, and if you're not responsible and able to pay these cards back off every month, this is what you're looking like. Vast difference between having a credit card that's a $500 limit and a $1,000 limit. Like I said before, you're getting something that you may not know the repercussions of if you've never had it before, or are responsible with your money, or even know about personal finance to be responsible. Because a lot of times people want to get these high limit credit cards so they can live above their means. So can you imagine over the next 19 years, almost 20 years, paying on this card and giving them $51,000 in interest? Well, if you can't imagine that, then you might want to keep on looking at it, because I want to show you something else. Okay, let's pull up the investment calculator. So on the investment calculator, say you put in the same payment amount, right? $310. And it says how many years that we want to do this. We're going to do this for 19 years. So after 19 years, And with investments, the average rate of return that you're going to get, you know, because the markets can be up and down when it comes to the stock market. When I say markets, I mean the stock market can be up and down. So say we putting this in an investment vehicle on the stock market, and for our average rate of return on the stock market, because of the ebbs and flow of it, you know, the ups and the downs, it's average around 8% of rate of return. Okay, so we're going to put 8% in. And we're going to compound this interest on an annual basis. So that's on a yearly basis. And just say our additional contributions is going to be $310 per month. So basically what I'm doing is I am putting in the amount that I would be paying on a credit card inside of here, right? So I'm putting in the $310. That's the amount that I said that we would pay as our minimum payment on a $20,000 credit card balance that we're trying to pay down. And it said that it would take us 19 years to do it, right? So let's see how much money, if we would put that same $310 in an investment vehicle in the same 19 years, let's see how much money we could make on the flip side versus giving them $51,000 in interest. Let's see how much money we can make. All right, so here's the results right here. So it says that our end balance would be $161,092.69. Our starting amount was the first monthly payment, which was $310. And after that, we paid $310 every month for 19 years. So our total contributions would be $70,680. That's how much money that we would have put in. And our total interest that we would have made would be $90,102.69 to give us the grand total of $161,092.69. Well, I can't talk. So with the credit card debt, we actually gave the credit card company, whether that's Navy Fed or whoever it is that you got this credit card with this $20,000 maxed out credit card, we've given them, if we're just paying the minimum of $310, we would be done gave them $51,000. Now, versus taking that same $310 and putting it in an investment vehicle for the same amount of years, 19 years, at 8% return, we could actually make $90,000 in interest. Instead of giving them $51,000, we would make $90,000. I just want y'all to sit in, because I think right now we are looking and chasing after the wrong bags. And that's why I told you guys in my last video about the new journey, I got to teach you guys a different way to get this bag. Get this bag by running up debt is not the right bag. That's the slave bag. If you want to be a slave to a job that you hate, to paying credit card debt, this is the route that you would get if you're not responsible with your credit cards. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off, guys, and I got to be 100% stock honest with you guys. I can't sugarcoat it no more. That's why I told you guys I have to go on this new journey, because I got to show y'all the truth. I got to show y'all the truth. Do you really want to be wealthy, or do you want to look rich? Do you want to spend $20,000 on Birkin bags and all kind of stuff that you don't need, and all kind of everything, and clothes and everything, and have $20,000 worth of credit card debt that you can't afford to pay, and give these credit card companies or these banks or these credit unions your hard-earned money? Or do you rather want to put your money in an investment vehicle and really do have a bag? Which one do you want to do? Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment in this video. Let me know which one sounds better to you. Giving them $51,000 or you making $90,000 in the same amount of time. 19 years. You can make the choice. Now, I'm not telling you guys that getting a credit card is a bad thing. So this video is not to scare anybody from getting a credit card, but it is to let you know there is trouble if you cannot pay the credit card back off. When you get a credit card, especially for my young people, my millennials and my Gen Zs and all that, I want you guys to really understand it. You know, I want you guys to understand this, because this is how a lot of you guys get in trouble, especially when you're in college, because as soon as you turn 18, as soon as you get ready to graduate high school, they already sending you credit card offers in the mail. That's how they got me. Now, they started me off with only $500, you know, but as we're getting older and we trying to do all these things that we seeing on the internet. See, I didn't have the internet back in 1997. Okay, I didn't have the internet. When I graduated high school in 97, there was no internet going on, right? So no social media, no YouTube, none of that was going on. So I didn't have anybody telling me that I need to go get this account with Navy Fed, or I need to go get this account with Penn Fed to get these house or high limit credit cards, right? I ain't got nobody on TikTok telling me to do the late night hack and the pledge loan and all this and that. I didn't have nobody telling me all this, right? But this is the information age that we're in. And these things are going to get you in trouble if you're not responsible and don't understand how they actually work. They could be for good and they can also be for bad. Right? So I'm not telling you guys that a credit card is not a good thing to have, because if you use it responsibly, you can get a lot of rewards. You could get cash back. You could get free travel. You could get free hotel stays, especially if you do a lot of travel. But one thing about it, you cannot overspend. You can't live above your means with the credit card. You only can spend what you can afford to pay back. If you can't afford to charge $100 and pay the $100 right back off, then you don't need to be using that credit card. Period. Because every time that you're using it and you don't actually have the cash on hand to pay it back, you're borrowing against your future earnings that may or may not be guaranteed to you. You're borrowing against money that you may not already work for. Because in your mind, if you're out shopping with this high limit credit card, right, and you're out here and you getting stuff, and you're like, oh, I get paid in 2 weeks, I can pay this back off. You're not going to pay it back off, because in 2 weeks, something else is probably going to come up. And then you're going to end up paying the minimum payment. And then you're going to end up using the card again. And then you're going to wind up having even more debt from the previous month. So that's compounding. So compounding interest work both ways. It can compound for the good, where you're paying off your credit cards and they're not getting any interest, and you putting it in an investment vehicle and making you some interest like $90,000. Or compound interest could be the other way around, where you maxing out your credit cards and giving the credit card people $50,000 if you're maxing out a $20,000 credit card. I just want my people over here at Starr Knows Credit to know the real deal when it comes to your personal credit. And this can also be the same thing with business credit, guys, because you could get business credit cards as well, run up a bag, and if your business, or if you're using it for personal stuff, if you don't have the money to pay it right back off when it's time to pay those cards back off, same deal. And you know, on the business side, they give you even more money than they do on the personal side. So you got to really be careful, guys, especially if you've never, ever had high limit credit cards. If you've never had a credit card above $5,000, you got to be real careful, because it's so easy to go out there and just swipe. I mean, it's so easy. You know how easy it is. You could just go out there and just swipe anywhere you want to go. You can go on vacation. You could go on this internet and book a trip to wherever you want to go if you got $20,000 on the limit. And the first thing you think, oh, I could just pay that back when I get my taxes, or I could just pay that back with this, or I could, you know, you already rationalizing how you can pay it back. But when the time comes for you to pay that big lump sum up, I guarantee you, you're going to come up with something. You're going to come up with some excuse not to do it. And that's how you get in trouble. And that's the road to late payments. That's the road to collections. That's the road to bankruptcy. I'm just going to keep it a buck with y'all. What y'all young kids say? I'm just going to keep it a buck. No cap over here. So y'all leave me a comment and let me know what y'all think about this video. Did this video give you an eye-opening experience of what credit card debt can look like? Did it ever sit in your mind of how that looks when you get these high limit credit cards? Did that ever dawn on you? Have you ever played with an investment calculator or with a credit card calculator? auto loan calculator. Have you ever played with any of these and look at the real numbers, the real bottom line numbers? Have y'all ever done that? If you haven't, you need to on everything that you do, because you need to be transparent. As I tell you, people lie, but numbers don't, okay? Again, leave me a comment, let me know. Like this video if this is some content that blessed your heart and showed you some information that you did not know. That's what this channel is all about. It's about educating my people in every way that I can. And I will see you again in the next video. Don't forget the CRP, the Credit Ready Program. If you're ready to really learn about personal finance, 6-week course, only $10 a month. It's a whole community. We do book club reviews. We talk to each other. You get to chat with me, and I also will give you a free consultation so you can talk to me, so I can help you get on your goals and get you on track so that you're meeting them. I'll see you in the next video.